Hey, how's it going?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Good, 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 good. I'm doing some house duties at the same time. That's why I was gone.
That's all right. We just did some late night grocery shopping, so I kept popping over the computer. It's like, no, he's not in the chat yet. No, he's not in the chat yet. So I'm putting stuff in the fridge at the same time. So it's good. We're both
Okay, okay,
multitasking.
yeah. I'm cleaning some silverware I got from my mom for my daughter. Like, but they turn black after a while. So I have this
Ah,
old recipe of baking soda, hot water, and aluminum foil.
does it work?
It works.
It works.
It works. Yes, it does.
You know what? Maybe we should just ditch everything about this interview and we talk about how to clean your house properly the heavy metal way. I think that's a good way to do the interview.
I mean, I kind of make fun of that when I'm not on tour, when I'm not in the studio, I am a fucking housewife. You know, I cook
it's
and I clean.
It's not a bad thing. I'm the cleaner in my house as well, though my wife's in the other room, so I've got to keep my voice down a little bit. Otherwise, she'll come out here and go, "Don't lie."
Oh, yeah.
But how are you today, my friend? It's a pleasure to have you here.
Well, it's nice being here, and yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm starting the day in a great way out running, 10K. No, only 8K this morning, but it's. I mean, I think it's great to start, your day with just cleansing your mind, greeting the sun, and just, starting from scratch. Isn't it? Each day a new beginning, as they say.
I find that the older I get, the more I'm starting to feel like I'm a house plant because I'll sit inside a bit miserable, get up, feel groggy. I go outside, and as soon as the sun starts to hit my skin, it's almost like photosynthesis. I almost feel myself come alive. Like it's better than any drug in the world. Just sun, fresh air, going for a walk before you do anything to start the day. Just like that's heaven to me. Like that is the best thing you can do in the world. So like I 100% agree with you on that one. Like it's the
Yeah.
best.
It's kind of funny when you talk to people that need a change.
Mm.
Oh, my life is so miserable. Yeah, so what do you do? I only sit home. Well, first of all, as long as you don't leave your apartment or your house, nothing good will happen. Change will not come and knock at your door. You need just leave your apartment, leave your house. If it's only for like half an hour a day, just go outside.
Yeah. You're
Really,
100% right.
yeah.
There's probably a lot of people, I'm about to say wearing black t-shirts, I'm in all black right now going, oh, maybe I should go outside every now and then because, I'm ginger and blonde. So the sun really does wonders for me in short doses. I live in Australia. I know you've been here once before. We don't really have an ozone layer, so that sun really beats down. But speaking of Australia, very soon you're coming back for the first. I know you've been here once before, but only for one show. You're coming back for your full headline tour. How exciting is that after all these years?
It's very, very exciting, I would say, that we finally,
Mm,
made no, that we finally put like a full tour together.
yeah.
It's so weird, but it's almost like, yeah, you know what, we have to do this now, we do that, and since Australia is not connected really to any other country, it's kind of a one-off
Yeah.
tour that you do. No matter if you go to South America, you go to North America, you can stay there for 3, 4, 5 weeks, no problems.
Yeah.
But if you go to Australia, well, maybe you can do New Zealand. I
Maybe
mean, we did
Japan.
Melbourne, maybe exactly, but that's where I'm coming at. When we did Melbourne in 2015 or 16, we had a show in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and we did a show in Japan. And we thought, hey, since we are in the neighborhood, let's fly down to Melbourne. But
Mm.
no one told me it was like 8 hours, you know.
Yeah.
So that was not around the corner. It's
Uh,
8 hours between Stockholm and New York.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's a long flight. But no, we can't change the past. Now we are coming, and I'm so looking forward to it. So looking forward to it.
And you're coming at a beautiful time of year as well. I always say the people that come down to Australia during like November, December, January, February, I'm like, I know what you're doing. You're just trying to extend your summer vacation, but you're coming down here right in the middle of summer, right in the middle of the beautiful season of Australia. So very smart to come down this way. You kind of get that sun like we were talking about coming down. But what excites you the most about actually doing a tour down here after all this time? Because for years, I assume since social media has blown up, because you're in a time where social media didn't exist and then social media came in. How many comments have you seen over the years of like, oh, when are you coming to Australia? Oh, when are you coming to Australia? Like, how good did it feel to finally go, hey, for all you people that have been asking on MySpace back in the day, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever it's called now, to finally be able to say, we're coming and we're doing a full nation tour. Like, that is huge, like absolutely huge. Must be satisfying.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now, hopefully, everyone that made a post in the past, like, hey, come to Australia, I really hope that they will show up at the show, because I always have the experience of people like, oh, you know what? I couldn't make it because I had to do laundry that day. Like, hey, now we finally made it after 27 years.
Yeah.
Let's take another country. Now, let's say Australia. Let's fast forward. This is February next year. And I'm getting comments like, oh, I missed you guys this time because I was doing this and that. Like, hey, come on. Now, get your lazy ass out of your apartment and get a ticket and come to the show.
Exactly.
I mean, you just have to. Or another funny thing is that, like, you didn't play my city. And what's the name of your city? What's it? It's Chewbacca. Okay, and where is that? It's in the middle of this territory. Like, okay, well, maybe it would have been easier for you to travel to, let's say, Sydney or to Melbourne to see us, than for us to come to your backyard and play. So no, it's kind of funny if you as soon as you post a tour, as you announce a tour, there's always someone, come to Azerbaijan and play. Come to Trinidad Tobago and play. You know, we love to play in Trinidad Tobago, but I'm not sure there is a promoter there who wants to do a show. And for us, yeah, no worries. We could play every country in the universe, but we need to have local promoters wanting us. We need invitations, and that, you know, that is how it works. And for Australia, I think for many years, I think you had at least some like a good festival going on.
Soundwave was a big one for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from that, it was really hard to get like a full-blown tour going. But I've seen the change, and now we have an Australian guy in our management team, and he's been really working hard to make this tour happen, which is a good thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I know who you're talking about as well, because he's probably watching this, and you're a good fella, mate. Remember I said that. But no, you're 100% right. And I think a lot of people forget in Australia, I'm a country boy, so I'm country Australian. I do live in the city now, which I'm still trying to get used to. A lot of city folk, and I think this is in every country, think more than half an hour or 45 minutes is a long way to travel. I used to travel 5 hours for concerts. So I'm like, if I can do that by car, you can certainly get out of your apartment for 2 hours, 3 hours at tops, go see a kick-ass heavy metal gig, because that's what you guys bring. You guys bring classic heavy metal, which is, I wouldn't say a dying breed, but it's certainly rare these days to find a band like a Hammerfall that really delivers this classic heavy metal sound that is just like, it speaks volumes, because you guys have a fantastic live show. You don't have gimmicks. You kind of come out there, you've got your music, you let it speak for itself. And it's fantastic. And you guys sound as great as you did back then, and especially yourself. You've got such a fantastic, clean voice. How do you kind of keep your voice as strong as you have after all these years? Because so many singers kind of, you know, suffer that fatigue. I saw you live at Wacken in 2023. I was stuck in the mud, sinking slowly. I think I was 4 foot tall by the end of your set. But I remember when Any Means Necessary came on, just how powerful it sounded. Like, how have you kind of kept that energy and, you know, health over all this time?
Well, now when we know what happened to the heroes from the 80s, that, oh my God, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll doesn't really need a long and prosperous career.
Yeah.
I kind of gave myself a little, the best gift ever, like 11 years ago. I started to run. I really started to take care of myself, taking care of my body. I'm very conscious what I'm eating, what I'm putting into myself. And all of a sudden, I lost a lot of weight, and I could run from one side of the stage to the other without, you know, having to catch my breath.
Yeah.
So I can, you know, give a full-blown performance at all times without getting the fatigue you were talking about, without losing my voice, without getting tired. And I'm running 25, 30K every week. also on tour, I'm trying to stay in shape because at the end of the day, at the age of 54, now it's up to me.
Yeah.
It's not up to anyone else. There's one, not person, but I'm working. I'm fighting my own body at this point. The body wants to just, hey, sit down. Hey, relax. You can sleep longer. You can do this. You can, hey, have some champagne. Like, no, not today. I have to, I have to sing. I have to do this next week. I have to go on tour. So I need to be prepared. So I know my body, my voice is eventually getting, not as flexible as before. Hitting the high notes sometimes is a little bit, takes a little more effort, and like, that's gonna hurt tomorrow, but you have to do it. But as long as I give myself the best possible, I'm searching for words here. I think you know what I'm trying to say here.
It's kind of like training. It's like your knees. Like you said, you're getting older. People forget that the voice, it's a muscle. And as we get older, and if you don't exercise, you get out of bed, back's a bit stiff, knees are a bit stiff. Your voice gets stiff too. I work my day job is a call center. All I do is talk all day, and I do singing myself. And if I do not warm up, I kind of sound like Tom Waits almost at the end of the day. Oh, here you go. Talk like that. So it is so important because it's a muscle. You got to exercise. I think it's important to be healthy, and it shows because you guys are acting like you're 25 years old out there. I watch you ad vac, and I'm like, geez, my knees hurt watching you guys. I'm like, that's impressive. And it really shows and that shows that you can still be on a main festival stage because harder, faster, louder, huge stages because you've earned that spot, but you're keeping that spot because you're showing you care about it. And it's not like, I won't name bands, but we all know some 80s rock bands out there where the voice doesn't sound as good anymore. And I won't say it, but we all know who I'm talking about. And it just goes to show when you actually care and put in effort and it's not just a cash grab, it really delivers. And that's what people in Australia are going to see for the first time. If you've been a Hammerfall fan for 20 years, it's going to sound like Hammerfall when you listen to it 20 years ago because you guys have put in the effort and you've mastered your craft. And it is a real kudos to you guys going forward. Like, bravo, you've done fantastic. No, you really have.
But I think actually Hammerfall as a band sound better today than we did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it's more solid. It's more, everyone has grown as a musician, and also that we stayed with the same lineup now for 10 years.
Yeah.
And that feels like this is a solid lineup. We are 5 friends. They're respecting each other, and we go on tour together. It's not like we're traveling in 5 different tour buses, 5 different planes, hating each other, want to kill each other after the show. No, we enjoy spending time together. We have fun together. Yeah. And it's the fun part that makes this worth getting up in the morning. This put on my stage clothes because I love what I do. I love meeting the fans.
Yeah.
I think that is what people can feel and see when they come to a Hammerfall show. I mean, when we hit the stage, that is like a fucking pyro explosion.
Yeah.
Only with, the energy from the band. And every song by Hammerfall is an invitation for the fan to be part of it, to sing along.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more because you do, and you have some sing-along anthems as it is as well. And it's like a roller coaster ride. You do plan out your sets and actually getting in the sets, but you do plan out your sets where it kind of feels like it's going like this. There's never a dip in the momentum. It's like a roller coaster. You'll come up, you go, oh, we'll bring it down here, and then boom, we're right back up. Have you thought about the set for Australia? Because like I said, 27 years of Hammerfall, there's a lot of material you guys got. I know you've got the new album out as well, which is fantastic. Congratulations on that as well. I mean, album number 13, if I'm correct. Like, that's correct. A big, in 27 years, that's a huge effort. I think, you've done more albums than Metallica at this point. That's, when you think about it in such a short amount of time, that's huge. But have you thought about the set list at all yet? Because what are we? November now, January is just around the corner. Like, are you going to try?
Yeah, and then we have Christmas will fuck things up as well. So
of course,
yeah. But we started the tour in Europe a couple of 6 weeks ago.
Yep.
And of course, it is that tour that we will bring to Australia, because right after Australia, we have to go and do 70,000 tons of metal. And there is another tour, coming up before the summer.
Yeah.
But the way kind of the formula we have for making the ultimate set list is, of course, that this is a tour of Avenge the Fallen.
Yes.
So that is the main character of the set list. We need to play a couple of the new songs. It's as simple as that. Luckily, these songs the fans want to hear.
Yeah.
It's not an album we release as a bad excuse for going on tour.
Yeah.
No, this album will make a difference in the history of Hammerfall, and I'm really proud of that. Then you need to play the songs that the fans really want to hear.
Yeah.
If we take out Hearts on Fire, we'll be banned from Australia, probably. So the songs the fans want to hear. And then you want to play the songs that you want to play yourself. The songs that really trigger yourself, that makes, you know what, I love this song for various reasons. And then, of course, you need to add like a little surprise element here and there, like a song that the diehard fan would like, oh, I never thought they would play this song. And I think, all these ingredients, they make the perfect pancake. Call it whatever you want. Heavy metal pancake.
I love that. I'm going to refer to set list now as pancakes, like the perfect pancake. You got a bit of strawberries here, a bit of cream, and the maple syrup that goes on top. That's the encore. So yeah, I like
exactly. It. And then a little surprise. That could be whatever you want to, put on there.
There's a blob of ice cream on there too. Where'd that come from?
Yes.
Yeah. No, but and speaking of everything, because like you said, 54 now, and you're looking as young as ever. So congratulations. I'm jealous. Like that's why I wear a hat. My hair is not looking as majestic as yours. But going in, because you mentioned some of the high notes, you go, oh, I'm feeling it. When you go and record, do you ever push it to a point where you're like, okay, I can definitely do that on the studio. Don't know if I'm going to be able to do that live, or are you setting into a mindset of like, if I'm doing it in the studio here, I must be able to do it live because I don't want to cut corners. Like, what's your mindset when you go in to record these days?
It's different now compared to the past because I didn't really trust my ability of singing. I was always questioning myself before I went on stage. So I think I was a little bit like call me a coward. And you can quote me on that. Okay. Because I played it too safe on stage. I didn't really hit the high notes. No, I was finding like a lower harmony to kind of take a little shortcut into the next part of the song. But I realized the past 10 years that, you know what? I have the capability of actually hitting the high notes without losing my voice. Maybe some days I need to avoid certain notes because no, I'm not going to nail it. And if I nail it, I'm going to be close, but I'm going to pay for it the next, day or two. So maybe I just have to listen to my body. But now, whatever I record, I try to hit also on stage.
Yeah.
There is one part in one song on the new album I kind of gave up that already the first couple of shows, like, oh my God, this is not going to happen. Because in the studio, it was, I was in perfect shape. The sun was in the perfect angle to the moon, and everything was just perfect for me to hit that the ending part of The End Justifies.
Yeah.
No, oh, what happened here? Shit, I nailed it. How did I do that? I have no idea, but I did it. And I will probably never do it again. It's like if you run faster than anyone else in the whole world in 100 meters, you set the new world record. It doesn't mean that you're going to set the new world record the next time, or even, so it all depends on so many factors, so many aspects of what's going on. So, but to answer your question, I'm trying to, and I'm not as afraid anymore. And I think I'm living by the mantra, just do it.
Yeah.
Or just sing it.
That's a perfect. It's funny when you mentioned hitting that note. You reminded me. I don't know how much of a movie buff you are, but Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. So on this time of day, at this point of year, on this exact date, you got to have the staff in the window, and it shines through. That's you hitting that note in that studio.
Exactly. That's the end of The End Justifies.
I love
I
it.
lost the staff. I lost the staff.
It's a one-time use thing. After you do this spell, it breaks. It's like there it is. But at least we've got it. It's there. We can always listen to it. It's fantastic. But speaking of things as well, and you've mentioned it, like you get energy from the fans. Has been that like touring for so long and having such a loyal fan base and a good fan base too. You guys have a good fan base. I know I see in the comments sometime, come to Australia, come to Brazil. I think every band has to come to Brazil every time a tour gets announced. But has there been any special interactions you've ever had with the fans over the years that stick out? Like one time you met a fan, or maybe a fan's gifted you something where you're like, wow, this is really special. And this is a special life I live doing a job that not a lot of people get to do. Is there anything that sticks out in your mind?
If you gave me time to think about this, I think I would have like a book full of stories for you.
Yeah.
I remember one guy I met on the first time I met him was in Lincoln, Nebraska in 1998. We were on tour with the band Death in the US. And after the show, I met a guy called Dave.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit, and he was a little bit older than me, like 10 years older. I was only 28 then. He was 38. He was working for like an insurance company, and he was not chasing hurricanes, but like tornadoes. But after a tornado, he went there with a checkbook. Here you go, working for the insurance companies. He was kind of all over the States. Next time we came back in 2002, touring with Dio, he showed up. And after the show, me, his friend, and a guy in the band went to a strip bar together, had so much fun. And he invited us, the whole tour company, to his place the next day because we had a day off and it was Thanksgiving. So he invited us to his house without telling his wife. So all of a sudden, a tour bus just parked outside of their house, and he said, by the way, I invited Hammerfall and the crew to the dinner party with your family, your mom, your dad, your sister, and all that. And I could see the face of her when we like, hello, we're here now. Like, come in, welcome. But this turned out to be a fantastic dinner party. We got to shower, to clean up, do some laundry. We were invited to the Dave room downstairs. It was kind of his man cave with fog machine, strobe lights, and all that. And we sat down there, and this turned into a lifetime friendship. We're still very, very close friends, and I'm really close friends with Lisa, his wife, and I think she might have known a little bit about it. She was not amused, but we didn't. We came there and we respected their home, their traditions, and just had such a great time. Even though some of the band members refused to go inside at first, like, no, we don't know these people. I'm not going to go in there. Like, well, then you can sit here and eat a can of soup.
Oh, I love that. And especially in the 90s, I'm thinking about it because you've lived through the 80s of the rock and roll, like the Motley Crue and the Guns N' Roses, and you hear the horror stories about them tearing things up. And then metal bands that were popular in the 90s, like Pantera, known for being wild. And you get a tour bus coming out, all the long hair coming towards the door. Like that almost feels like, the holiday romantic comedy that's on Netflix. It's like, oh, I invited this band over, and it's like you become best friends. And like the fact that that's a real story, that's so wholesome as well. That's brilliant. Like I love that. I love that. And the fact that you're still friends, that's absolutely incredible. Do you get to catch up every time you guys go to the States as well?
Yes, absolutely. And they came over to Europe. I met them at some festivals in Germany. I invited them to Sweden, but they never made it here, unfortunately. But I see them every time we tour. They come over, and my friend got married. They came up to the wedding as well because they got to know my friend through me. So wow,
great
people.
That's the kind of power. It's a small world when you think about it, and the power that can bring, music just bringing people together. And it's crazy that you mentioned two bands that you're on tour with, Death and Dio. Like, unfortunately, both gone now. What was those experiences like when you look back touring with some of these bands that are like they're now considered like legends, and you got
Yeah.
to know these people, two of these people. Like, is how's that feeling? Is it a little surreal when you look back? It's like Death and Dio. It's just kind of like, wow, just two legends of their own craft, completely different from one another. Like it's yeah, it's a little surreal at the end of the day.
It is, and it was. I mean, touring with Chuck Schuldiner was just a great honor to get to know him before
Mm,
it was too late. We became really good friends. And I remember when we recorded the Renegade album in Nashville, that was the last time I talked to him. This was in 2000 and was it 2000 or 2001? I can't really remember, but
yeah.
just a couple of months before he passed. And that was, he called and just wanted to check up on us and see how things were. And, you know, and then we lost him way too soon,
Oh,
way
way
too
too
soon.
young.
And I think Chuck was a living proof that you shouldn't judge people by what other people say.
Mm.
I got so many comments like, "Oh, you're going on tour with Death. Oh my God, be careful. Chuck is such a bad person," or blah 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 blah. And he was the nicest person. I mean, we had so much fun, so much respect from him. And
Yeah.
I remember the first day they were headline, we were support, special guest, call it whatever you want. And was a little afraid at first, like we're traditional heavy metal band and you're death metal.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We all play metal. We're all in this together. Like, okay, so okay, we can do this tour. First day, Springfield, Virginia. Uh, Before the show, like, hey, you- are we playing 40 minutes, 45? And Chuck looked at me like, you can play as long as you like. We're doing this tour together. Like, no. No, we can play. You're the headliner. So can we play like 50 minutes? Play an hour. Play an hour and a half. It doesn't matter. So he was
Wow.
such a cool guy. Yeah. And we
Oh,
formed this band together called the Waffle Heads, based out of merchandise from Waffle House. If you know the like a
yeah, I
chain
know
of
Waffle
restaurants,
House. Yeah.
Waffle House. So we got like aprons, we got hats, and we actually did a show in Atlanta on the last show day under the name of the Waffle Heads.
To have it's funny now because if you did that these days, there would be a million YouTube videos of bad phone audio of that. But that I'm assuming there's no audio recording of that at all. So that's just a special moment that you guys had with that audience at that time. That's special. That's unique. That's something that doesn't happen anymore. So I guess that's something to really treasure.
And sometimes I think it's more interesting to tell the story than to show
Mm.
a video clip.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, tell people about it. It's like uh, if you have the nicest view you ever seen. Oh my God, this is breathtaking. Oh my God, this is surreal. The first thing people do is like grab the camera and they film, take photos, and then they show people like, look at this view. Like, okay, it's a nice view.
yeah.
Then it's better to actually do not show the photo. Tell people about it. Oh my God, you should have seen it. You blah blah. And then if you just if you if you can explain it in a good way, if you just can create a picture in your description,
Yeah.
I mean that's better than any photo.
And you know why? And that's why a lot of people go, the book is better than the movie because the book explains a scene and it's up to your imagination to picture it instead of someone telling you what it looks like. And that's why so many people like books more than movies because you get to create the image in your head of what it was. And that is how you perceive it. And if you like it and you like what you hear, you perceive it as the most beautiful thing you can imagine it to possibly be. And
Exactly.
it's not ruined by anything else. No, that is a great analogy of that thing as well, and something you get to treasure. But I know we've been talking for a while. It's been an absolute pleasure. I could talk to you for another 5 hours, but I know you've got some silverware to clean, so I won't keep you for much longer. But you are coming down to Australia. I know a lot of Australians are going to be watching this. I'm going to be at the Sydney show, and you got Valhalla and Silent Night opening. What an incredible lineup. I don't know if you've listened to those bands, but I highly recommend it. You're going to love them. Is there anything you want to say to the Australian fans before I let you go this evening?
You know what? Go out there, get your ticket. This will be the ultimate heavy metal experience. I would promise you that. This will be an overdose of traditional European heavy metal, or as I used to call it, true German heavy metal from Sweden.
I love that. It's funny because you do mention it. A lot of the German bands try to replicate that sound. I noticed it at back end, but you're 100% right. I cannot wait. Tickets will be in the description of this video, so you got no excuse not to find them. Mate, it has been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to see. I'll be seeing you on the 18th of January. It's a slightly late birthday present for me, so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a killer show. I know it. Thank you for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And see you in January.
No, we'll see you then. Cheers,
Cheers.
mate.
Okay.
Bye.